Let me try to explain it this way. Personality is formed by the age of 7, they tell us. Your experiences from the womb up to the age of 7 form your personality. And personality is not good or bad. There's not a better personality or worse personality. It just is what it is. And from the experiences from the womb up to the age of 7 years old, your personality is formed, and this personality affects everything that you do from that point on. Everything that you do, say, think, or feel from that point on is governed by your personality, which is governed by the experiences that you had from the womb up to 7 years of age. The important point here is that this area, this time experience, this gap in here is with you every day that you live. It's constantly with you and governing what you do, say, think, or feel. You cannot escape these experiences. They formed your personality. Now, unless you get a hold of some really strong drugs or have a horse kick you in the head, you're stuck with that personality. And like I said, there's no good personality or bad personality. It is what it is. Now, you may be a little extreme, like let's say you're outgoing. You may be a little too outgoing and may have to learn to temper your outgoing a little bit. Or you may be withdrawn a little bit or too much, and you may have to learn to be a little more outgoing. You can take the edge off your personality, but your basic personality, you're stuck with that for life. The only way that you can change that is if you were to go back in time and have a whole new set of experiences from the womb up to 7 years of age. If you went this far in, you might be able to change half your personality. But in order to change all of it, you'd have to change all of the experiences that you had from the womb to 7 years of age. Okay, but this is not necessary because, like I said, one personality is not better than the other. They just are what they are. But along with personality comes an understanding that will govern, just like the personality will govern. There is a good and bad force that is formed at that period, not personality, but something else. It is your understanding of a thing called perfect love. Because if you think about God, Scripture says that God is two things. God is spirit, and God is love. Perfect love that casts out fear. And this type of love also includes our worth and our validation. And this experience from here to here of this perfect love will govern everything that you do, say, think, or feel from that point on in a good and bad, moral or immoral way. Think of this, perfect love. Imagine if from the womb you understood a love so strong that you were never burned by those who don't love you. You were never hurt by their rejection. A love so strong, so perfect that you were never driven to find love because you knew it. You had it. It was secure. A love so strong that you were never proven to defend or validate your worth. That you were never driven to defend your worth because you knew your worth from the womb. Imagine what that would be like. As a matter of fact, let that feeling, if you can, let that feeling sweep over you. That from the womb, you knew that you were absolutely loved to where no rejection from any individual had any effect on you. You were solid in this love. That you knew that you were loved and worthy and validated to the point that you were never, ever, ever driven to prove or defend your worth. Imagine being of such perfect, knowing of such perfect love that you were never burned by the rejection of anyone. You were never driven to withdraw, to try to anesthetize the pain of not being loved. You were never driven to become aggressive toward people because of a lack of love. Imagine this. If you can, just for a moment, let this sink in, what perfect love in the womb, in this time period, what that would do to you. If you can feel that. Because what happens, you let that soak in, your shoulders go back, your head goes up, your chest goes out, a lightness comes upon you. That the rejection of other people no longer matters, no longer burns. That you never have to find love, that you never have to prove or defend your worth. That lightness, if you can feel it, that lightness is wholeness. Now it is very interesting because the word wholeness is the word from which we get the word holy. To be holy is to be whole. To be whole is to experience perfect love at the very core of your being, to where it translates out to where you are never driven to prove or defend your worth or find love or compromise your values to find love or to protect yourself from the pain of not being loved. Wholeness flows. That's holiness flows. But what if you don't know this? Like all of us, we have not experienced this. We've experienced something else, imperfect love, to where we do not know this. And so we have the pain of not being loved. We have the pain of not having a secure love, or we have to go looking to find love somewhere. We have to prove and defend our worth. Now, if you can, let that sink in. And what does it feel like? It's a bending. It's a heaviness. It's a stooping over. Where you're standing whole like this, suddenly you stooped over like this because the weight of having to find love, or the weight of being rejected, or the weight of trying to prove or defend your worth. That bending over from that weight. Bent comes the word wicker. From wicker comes the word wicked. Because wickedness, we think, oh, killing and murder and lust and pornography and all this stuff is wickedness. Wickedness is where I have to cower, where I have to hide because I didn't have love, or I have to go and compromise my values to find love, or I have to prove or defend my worth. That drive is wickedness. That drive is what is referred to in Scripture as the sin nature. The nature to sin, to compromise your values for the purpose of finding love or defending against a lack of love or proving or defending your worth. That is what happens when you do not experience this love, perfect love, in the womb. A person goes into life bent, and the sinful nature has you bent, trying to find and prove and defend your worth, trying to find love, trying to defend against not being loved. That is the sinful nature by not knowing perfect love in the womb. Now the question is this perfect love real? It is as real as God is real. So is this love available to someone even in the womb? Yes. Absolutely yes. Does this God who is love you unconditionally with perfect love in the womb? Yes. Is this truth? Is perfect love truth? Yes. This is absolutely true. Absolutely true. So this, God is love. This is what God is. Perfect love. Let me see if I can circle this. This is truth. And when the truth of perfect love goes into the womb, the sinful nature quiets down. It has no reason. There's no reason for it. And wholeness flows out of this. If perfect love and the truth of perfect love is not in the womb to 7 years age in this experience, then you're bent and you spend your life being bent.